fire within him has not been lit for quite a while. However, the spirit of vengeance will be let loose as the shackles holding him will finally be broken, much like how the multiverse in the MCU is right now. But which version we will get is not quite sure as of yet, which is also the most intriguing thing about the demon waiting to be freed and ride into the sunset. Becoming something along the lines of being a forgotten relic, the Ghost Rider character has been put in the dirt for quite a while, ever since 2011, when the sequel, Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, was released, with Nicolas Cage in the lead role. And the franchise was right to put out a sequel, as the period around the time when the sequel was released was actually the time when the superhero movies had shown some early momentum. However, the movie itself did not deliver the success it was expected out of it. The franchise has since been swept under the rug. However, we think now is the time for a change, and we can say this with a clear mind, as rumors have been spreading that Marvel Studios is planning to bring the character back after so many years. As time went by, and the third movie with Nicolas Cage as the titular character became more and more on the myth side of things, the rights of the character reverted back to Marvel, and they gained the ability to stick the character into the beloved MCU. This move happened via the fourth season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., with Gabriel Luna in the role as MCU's Ghost Rider, but a different version, with his real name being Robbie Reyes. Reyes came with a different take on the mythos, the helmet-like skull design of his, as well as his love for muscle cars instead of the previous iteration of the character, who was one with the motorcycles of his time. The origin story presented to us was probably the most intriguing thing about Reyes, who said that he gained the powers from the devil, but in fact, it was the flaming skull of Johnny Blaze who saved him and shared his powers with him, with the flaming skull being the mistake that led Reyes to believe it was the devil that gave him a helping hand. There was also a Hulu spin-off series planned for Luna's Robbie Reyes back in 2016, which would have given us more answers about the character and a little bit more insight to go on. However, nothing has been said about the series since then. So far, the character has had quite a run, both across the two movies with Cage as the titular character, but also in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. series. However, we think it's finally time for us to get the true MCU Ghost Rider, and with many hints pointing towards him being one of the newest characters to come, we are excited to share what we managed to find out about the character's arrival in the MCU. The upcoming Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is not going to serve as a movie to tell storylines of many characters already part of the MCU, but it will also mark the beginning of others. After all, the movie will introduce America Chavez, a character who has the power to create portals into alternate timelines, and a prominent member of the Young Avengers team in Marvel Comics. She, together with Professor X, will not be the only new characters who will be introduced in the movie. We might see a flaming ride coming our way, too. Of course, we're talking about Ghost Rider, who we think will be freed from some kind of spiritual prison, with us finally getting to know the MCU's Ghost Rider, a version of the character to appear. We should mention that this is just a rumor that can, at any point in time, turn into yet another wishful thinking. But the groundwork is there. The only thing left to see is whether Marvel Studios will dive deeper into this theory, or rumor to say the least, especially due to the reportedly overheard development of the character for his solo movie, which, according to some, is in mid-production as we speak. This is not the first time the Ghost Rider's name has been closely connected to the Doctor Strange sequel, as there has been another mention of the character in the past, with him taking part in some kind of a cameo. For what it is worth, despite being something out of the blue, it would not be entirely wrong to say that this is a high possibility. The character himself has a dark, horror-tinged edge to him in the comics. Put together with the news that Doctor Strange sequel would be the closest thing to Marvel Studios' endeavors in the horror genre makes a lot of sense. As to which version of the character we're going to get, that's still debatable, with so many possibilities of us accidentally or intentionally being freed a Ghost Rider. We're going to have to wait and see how the movie plays out, which will coincidentally show if the rumors of Ghost Rider appearing in the movie are actually true. While there have been many incarnations of the character over the 50 years of his existence, only 2 made it to the live-action side of things, with Johnny Blaze and Robbie Reyes, one starring in 2 solo movies and the other as part of a Marvel Studios series. So, the big question before us is whether we're going to see one of the 2 mentioned above, Danny Ketch, or someone else entirely, in the Doctor Strange sequel or in further exploration of the MCU. Film expert Charles Murphy might have the answer, as he said that he is almost 100% sure as to which version of the character we're going to get moving forward, but that he doesn't want to spoil things. Thus, he will remain silent, because he thinks that his source is quite good and that it is the real deal, a detail he shared on a Twitter post, and that is why we're going to leave it at that. As for the 2 incarnations of the characters that made an appearance so far, Nicolas Cage's version of Ghost Rider focused on the stuntman Johnny Blaze, with Gabriel Luna's take on the character focused more on the mechanic side of things, with Robbie Reyes receiving the supernatural powers to become the Ghost Rider character in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. character from another of his breed, maybe even Johnny Blaze himself. We don't know for sure, as it remained a mystery that's still haunting us to this day. Something the MCU might go on in the introduction of the character in any of their future MCU projects, especially since there have also been talks of the group called the Midnight Suns coming to fruition and taking over. This group of members might also help to set up Ghost Rider for success after his previous iterations not getting the recognition he deserves. 2 members of the team in the comics are already confirmed of coming to the big screen. One in the form of the upcoming Moon Knight series, with the titular character having his fair share of being part of the team, and the highly anticipated Blade movie, with the titular character doing the job alongside the 2 of them. On a related note, tell us down in the comments below what are your thoughts on the Ghost Rider character? Which iteration was the best according to you and why? Where would you like to see the character make his proper debut in the MCU? And what version? Well, we're already asking. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.